Hi everybody, welcome back to the Proactive Business Network here in Marlborough, Massachusetts. I'm Jimmy Young, and here on this Wednesday we are joined by Peter Cronan. He is a longtime friend of mine and also a very successful businessman, now working for the Merrill Corporation for the last 15 years. But you might know Peter's voice because he's been the color analyst of the Boston College football team, I believe, since 1986. Is that correct? Did I do my homework?
The years are beginning to add up, Jim, and I don't look a day over, well, pick a number.
50.
Yeah, good call.
Is that good? As I did it?
That's nice of you.
That's good. We're both over 50,
50.
so I'm comfortable with that.
Yeah.
Peter, tell me a little bit about Merrill Corporation before we kind of get into your football career.
Merrill Corp, 2 R's, 2 L's.
Not how to spell it. Tell me what it does
No,
and what
but
do you do.
we don't sell stocks. We don't sell shoes.
Gotcha.
See, you get that? Yeah. No, we're in the information management space. Regulated information management, which is a financial and legal. Financial side is SEC regulated information, which is IPOs, mergers, acquisitions. That's the fundraising side. And then they have the compliance side, which is 10Ks, 10Qs, proxy statements, XBRL, a lot of stuff that means nothing to most people. But if you're in that space and you're an SEC reporting company, you would do business with us. We serve as expert intermediaries to make sure that the information that you want to communicate to your potential investor or your current investor meets the standards established by the SEC. So a very important job. It's highly complicated. It's a niche industry, very service oriented, high touch. But it's a fun business, especially now that the equity markets are pretty frothy. There's a lot of IPO activity, and Merrill Corporation is doing a lot of IPOs right now, which is good. It's a nice part of our business.
Right.
And on the other side of the business is the legal side, and you hear about large legal matters. You don't hear about what to preparing the attorneys to litigate. Mm-hmm. And it's usually around evidence management. Now we have a court reporting business. We have a data harvesting business, which is a collections business, which we actually identify where the evidence is relative to a matter. We identify the custodians, the people who control that information, and we actually go out and we harvest it. We collect it. We put it into a vat, if you will. We strip away about 80% of it because 80% of the information we collect is not relevant. Mm-hmm. And then we host it in a secure electronic environment. And all the attorneys get to go to this secure electronic environment with relevant data and execute their due diligence or their discovery. So, and the back end, we provide attorneys, contract attorneys for review if we're dealing with a regulatory body, like the Federal Trade Commission or the Department of Justice. Now on the outside, a real sizzling business for us is Merrill Data Site, which is a virtual deal room. Electronic, it's a deal room that's hosted, it's secure, highly intuitive, it's geared towards M&A, contract management. We're doing business vertical applications like life sciences, and it's a pretty slick tool, inexpensive, highly intuitive. It's a great backbone tool for the future. So we've got a lot going on at Merrill Corporation.
Yeah, and it's funny, as you're talking, I'm thinking of other places that might be in this same space. How do you differentiate what you do from others in this space, or is anybody else in your space that does all those things?
No one does all that we do. That's one of the unique differentiators. In the SEC side of the business, that is a very small community of competitors. There are some Johnny-come-latelys, but the expertise we bring to the table it would be very hard to buy or build. I mean, it's just a very small community of competitors where we differentiate ourselves because we can all do the deals. We differentiate ourselves with personal interaction. And our place, we're not the biggest, and we don't want to be the biggest. We're much more white glove service offering, more relationship based, and emphasis on 3 things you always remember: avoid a problem, and if you get into a problem, get out quick. And that's how you build loyalty with a client. And in a problematic business, the fewer mistakes that are made or the mistakes that are avoided tend to build credibility with your client base. So those are the types of things that differentiate us. On the legal side, it's a one-stop shop. You know, you get 6 or 7 businesses there. Under normal circumstances, that's 6 or 7 different relationships. Merrill Corporation, it's one. And we're able to pick and match up all the services that are necessary on that the matter might demand, where you don't just the pieces that fit, and we serve as project management liaisons, so that when you need something, we again providing consulting and expertise, we anticipate things that might be in the offing, we get ahead of it, and a couple of things happen from the perspective of what's the customer get. We're going to contribute to a favorable conclusion, resolution. We're going to provide you with quality deliverable, whatever it might be. We are also going to deliver that quality on a timely basis and ultimately hit the price point. And if you go in that order, you end up getting the kind of experience that Merrill Corporation's made itself famous for.
And I'm going to ask you one last question and see if you can, really drill down on this as succinctly as possible. With your football background, Boston College, Seattle Seahawks, Washington Redskins, 2 Super Bowls, successful enough that Joe Gibbs called you one of his favorite players of all time. How does the football background and sports background help you in business today?
There's the most competitive sport on earth is direct sales. And the attributes necessary to be effective in professional athletics are very similar to the attributes that are necessary to be effective in direct sales, in commission sales. I work in a commission sales environment. The skills that Joe Gibbs instilled in me, the experience of playing competitive athletics as long as I did, and enjoying the success that I did, really tooled me with the skills necessary to transfer those skills, highly ambulatory, and just slight modifications are purely applicable to a sales environment. And I emerged from the sales as a sales guy lugging a bag, and now I run the business, and I've had a lot of roles with Merrill Corporation, too many to discuss today, but in each case it comes back down to fundamentals that were consistent and necessary as a competitive athlete, are applicable and consistent and necessary as a professional businessman.
Great answer. That's why he is Peter Cronan, among other reasons. I want to thank you for coming out here today, and that'll do it for another edition of Wednesday Bytes, kind of our open house interview session here at the Proactive Business Network. For Peter Cronan, I'm Jimmy Young. We'll see you next time.